What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Emphasis on Sports. As usual, I'm your host, Damon Anthony, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to chop it about sports. Not much else, but there's a lot of sports. All right, so first things first, baseball season is over. A new champ has been crowned. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Beat the Yankees 4-1 in a very interesting Game 5. Now, the Dodgers jumped out to the 3-0 lead in the series, looking very good while doing it. Timely hitting. Freddie Freeman was just a monster and continued to be throughout the entire series. Yankees went ahead and took Game 4, just trying to stay in it. Of course, all you got to do is win one game and then one more. You don't worry about winning 4. But this last game, the series clincher, the Yankees jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Looked real good. Aaron Judge finally got off the schneid and hit a big home run. Had the crowd going crazy. Everybody was real into it. And then the errors happened. Y'all. And all in one inning. 3 bad ones. You had Garrett Cole not covering first base, which I don't understand. That's like basic baseball 101. I don't play baseball, but I've always seen the pitcher go cover first when the first baseman has to take a deep grounder. Then we just had a couple drops, another couple errors, and all of a sudden, snap of a finger, go from a 5-0 lead to a 5-5 lead. And it was over from there. Kind of took the heart out of the Yankees, and you can kind of see everybody sink, not just the Yankees, but the fans. And the Dodgers in Yankee Stadium clinched another ring. Congrats to them. MVP of the World Series, of course, was Freddie Freeman. I mean, the guy was lights out. Homer after homer after homer. Damn near hit another one last night. Freddie Freeman, hey, great pickup from Atlanta. He's continuing to do his thing and looking fantastic while he's doing it. Shohei had a great first World Series, got to get a ring, but now Mookie Betts becomes the only positional player in all of baseball with 3 rings. Remember, he had one with Boston. So he has one with Boston, 2 with LA. It's going to be interesting once the hot stove kicks off coming up here in December. Let's see, the player movement. I think Juan Soto's probably going to be on the move. This may have been his last game in a Yankee uniform. Time will tell on that. Let's just see what happens with baseball, with some of these teams. Where's everyone going to go next year? The Yankees, we know they're going to have a nice roster. The Dodgers, they're going to be back. They're going to be ready to roll. I want to see what the Cleveland Guardians do. They had a real low payroll. Are they going to spend a little money and try to stay in that ALCS area that they were in this year? Let's see. But until the season starts, that's off to the Dodgers. And the NBA is still chugging along. I mean, we're still at the beginning of the season. We're only a couple games in. So I'm not going to sit here and be a dum-dum and go over which team looks like they're going to win the championship, because you don't know. Teams can start hot and fizzle by February. Some teams, it takes them a little bit to get it going, to figure each other out, especially new year, new coach, new players. And then they really start to click in February. So not really much on the NBA. Last night, the Lakers did visit the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Bronny James scored his first bucket in the NBA against Cleveland, which at the end of the day is actually kind of cool. We do know that this is the area that he's originally from. If you know what I'm saying, remember, Pops is from Akron, Northeast Ohio. He was with the Cavs. Bronny, the connections are here. This is also an area he grew up in, that building. He's been in that building a million times, but he got to strap him on as an NBA player. And, hey, score his first bucket. So big shout out to Bronny James. Let's see how his season goes. I understand they may split him in the D-League also, which, I mean, I can care less about the nepotism side of it, but just the I don't know. It's kind of stupid. I think for any team to draft a player that they know that they're going to end up sending to the D League, something that makes no sense. Draft players that are ready to play. You could just draft him straight to the D League, and he can kind of figure it out there. But we'll see what the future holds for young Bronny. We'll definitely see what the future holds. Let's move on to the NFL. Hey, look, Week 9 is upon us. Week 9 is upon us. So by week 9, you really start to see teams that have a chance, teams that have no chance, teams that are playing for the top draft. That's what you see right now. There are a lot of teams with a lot of really interesting issues and a lot of real interesting problems. Whether it's like the Jets, kind of a what the hell is going on there, or injuries. This is where injuries start to pile up. Now, Thursday night game tonight, Halloween night. At one point, I was looking forward to this game. I'm going to watch it because it's a Thursday night game, and I'm going to check it out. But this is the Houston Texans versus the Jets. The line is currently Jets -2. I do not like the line. I don't like shit about this game. On Houston's side, we know they're without Nico. We know Stephon Diggs went down. But they still have Tank Dell. They still have Joe Mixon. They still have Dalton Schultz. And now it's time for some of the other guys to step up. CJ Stroud, I think he's going to do pretty well. On the other side of the field, there's nothing really to say about the Jets. Still don't know who they are. If I'm going to be honest with you, they just look like a bad team. I'm going to pick the game because I do pick these games. Like I said, the Jets -2, don't like that shit at all. I like Houston to win this one straight up. The Jets, they're just not a good team. They're just not. No one can convince me otherwise. I'm not seeing anything good out of the Jets, but I'm going to watch. Houston, I like them to win straight up. Let's move on to Sunday. So we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Atlanta Falcons. The line currently is Atlanta -2.5. I like Atlanta. Dallas is one of those teams, they are struggling to see the light. They just do not look good. From the running game, honestly, the whole thing, other than CD, Jake Ferguson here or there, they really got nothing on offense. And defensively, they don't look like a hell of a team. They just don't. They've given up points, 40 here, 40 there, gave up 30 to the Niners last week. They don't look like a good team. Meanwhile, Atlanta, they actually look like a team that's getting their feet under them and this really figuring it out. Kirko Chains, he's looking like he's in the right place. He's looking like he's going to keep Michael Penix on the bench. It was good to also see Bijan be used a little more effectively last week. Real good to see that. So I'm going to take Atlanta here. Lions 2.5. I definitely like them by a field goal at the very least. Then we're going to move on to an AFC East matchup. Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Current line, Buffalo -6. I love Buffalo in this game. No issues with the Dolphins. I'm not going to talk a lot of trash about the Dolphins. Tua is back. Their offense does move a lot different and a lot better, a lot more efficient when Tua's under center. We saw that last week with the pickup by A-Chain and Mostert. They banged up last week where their running game was really absent while Tua was down. But with the Buffalo Bills, they're good. They're good. Top 3 team in the AFC, and I'm going to say definitely top 5 team overall, maybe even top 4 team. They do look good. Josh Allen has been playing fantastic this year. I mean, I definitely expect them to win this game. That 6 points is heavy, but even if they shoot it out, I like Buffalo to win by a touchdown. So give me Buffalo in that game. Then, so listen, we got a couple games here that are like nobody cares games of the week. Couple, right? This one right here is definitely in the running, but it doesn't make the nobody cares game of the week. We got Las Vegas Raiders at the Cincinnati Bengals. Current line, Bengals by 7. Now, the only reason someone will care about this one is because the Bengals could rattle off some wins and make their way back into the playoff hunt. On the other side of the field, the Raiders, they're not very good. They suck. There's just kind of no two ways about it. They're definitely not going to be in the playoffs. That 7 points is huge, though, I don't see Cincinnati as that good of a team to be able to give up 7 points. I like Oakland. I like Cincinnati to win, but I like Oakland to cover. Next game up. This is a close to nobody cares. But with Jameis Winston and what happened last week, them beating the Ravens, Chargers at the Browns, maybe a decent game. I really don't think that the Chargers are a solid team. I mean, they're all right, but this is first year with Harbaugh. They stripped down the team a lot in the offseason. So they're not seeing the potential that I think a lot of us kind of think that they could get to. With the Browns, now that Jameis is starting, hey, look, they're throwing for yards. They scored more than 20 points. It seems like there's a little bit of a different synergy with that offense, especially with Nick Chubb coming back. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, hey, the Browns are going to go and run it off and go to the playoffs, but they just look like a better team. They look like they play a little better brand of ball. The line on this one is the Chargers by 1.5. Give me the Browns. I'll take the Browns to win this one straight up at home. No problem. Next game that we got, nobody cares game of the week. I'm telling you, this one, other than the fans, no one cares. So we got the Patriots at the Titans. Current line is the Titans favored by 3.5. This should tell you that this game is going to suck. That the Texans are even Titans are even favored in a game. Tennessee Titans should be favored in nothing, even if they're playing a high school team right now. They don't look good. They look real sad. Hop is gone. Now, last week, Calvin Ridley, he did have a hell of a game. With the Patriots, got to see if Drake May can come back from his concussion. But even if he does, this is just not a real good team. This is going to be a boring-ass game to watch. And I'm going to take the home team to win. That 3.5 is shaky. I don't like them winning by more than a field goal. Gambling purposes, give me the Patriots. I'll take the Titans to win straight up, though. And we're going to have Washington Commanders at the New York Football Giants. The line on this one currently is Washington by 4. Give me Washington all day long. The Giants are absolutely a terrible team. Daniel Jones continues to look bad. Brian Daboll, your days might be numbered. They just might. I mean, you're trying. Everyone's been trying this Daniel Jones thing. It's just not happening. It's just not. Meanwhile, with Washington, hey, they lead their division. We saw that fantastic Hail Mary the other day that Jaden Daniels threw, and right now he's shaping up to look like the rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. I have no problem saying that. I truly believe that. This is really reminding me of that RG3 year where Washington just balled out. Now, hopefully, Jaden can stay healthy because they really, truly can make some noise. The line on this one is 4. I got Washington winning this one by double digits because I don't think the Giants are going to score. Daniel Jones can move the ball a lot between the 30s, but outside of that, does not look very good. Just doesn't look good. This one right here, my nobody cares game of the week, Junior, part 2. Whew. New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. This is a dog of a game also. It just is. The Saints, they started the season, those first 2 games, they put up those numbers, everybody felt great about. Now they've had a rash of injuries, and they just don't look good at all. Dennis Allen, your time may be getting close to an end there also, because that defense doesn't look as good as it did before, and for you to be a hell of a defensive coach, it's just not clicking. Meanwhile, with the Panthers, we already know. The Panthers are probably the worst team in the league. They may not be the most disappointing. I think Jacksonville is the most disappointing team in the league, but probably the worst team in the league. Definitely. And they just traded their number 1 receiver. The line on this one is New Orleans by 7.5. I'm tempted to say New Orleans. I don't like this at all. I can't tell you who's going to win. I have no feeling about this game one way or another. So I'm just going to say that the home team wins. Give me Carolina. 7.5 is a lot. Both these teams suck. Little home team magic there. Then we have a surprise, actual good game. Really good game. If you asked me at the beginning of the season, would this be a game that someone should tune into? I would say hell no. It is. I think this one's going to be a doozy. the Denver Broncos at the Baltimore Ravens. So one, the Baltimore Ravens are coming off a loss, maybe an upset, disappointing loss against the Browns. Meanwhile, the Broncos are looking better and better every week. They're not looking like world beaters. They're not looking like, hey, this team is primed to win the Super Bowl, but they do look like a team that's trending in the right direction. Bo Nix, he's going to be the one that's going to challenge Jaden Daniels for that offensive rookie of the year. I really believe that because he has the Browns looking fairly good. Now, this is also a big rebound game for the Ravens. I expect to see a lot out of Derrick Henry. The line on this one is Baltimore by 9.5. Give me the Broncos. The Broncos have showed me that they're an okay team. Do I think Baltimore is going to win? Sure. I don't think they're going to win by double digits. I just don't. So Denver, Baltimore, give me Denver to cover. Give me Baltimore to win. Then we got the aforementioned Jacksonville Jaguars at the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me Philly. Before I even care about the line, give me Philly. Jacksonville is horrible. The line is Philly favored by 7.5. Give me Philly. Philly looked really good last week. I expect Philly to finally break their drought of not scoring in the first quarter. I think they're going to come out and just put points on the board. I don't think Jacksonville is going to be able to match them. I like Philly by this 7.5. This seems like a double-digit game to me, definitely. Then we're going to have another game that actually, before the season, I would have said this is a dog of a game. Now, hey, we got the NFC West leading Arizona Cardinals hosting the Chicago Bears. Bears coming off that dramatic Hail Mary loss, but they look like a team that they're okay. They're also in that NFC North, which this year, toughest division. With Arizona, hey, they're just finding ways to win games. They're taking them down in the last couple minutes, some walk-off field goals. Hey, look, if that's what it takes, and if you can handle it, keep rocking. The line on this one is Arizona by 1.5. I'm going to say I'm going to take Arizona to win. Take Arizona at home to win, cover. Chicago, I mean, for my own thing as a Niner fan, hey, I'm rooting for your Bears. Knock them off. Do your thing. But Arizona just seems like one of those teams. It's just going to find a way. It's just going to find a way. Probably the biggest game of the weekend, especially the one that I'm going to be just locked into because I think it's going to be a good game. Detroit at Green Bay. Years prior, me growing up, me in my 20s, me in my 30s, me in my early 40s, this was a game didn't really care to watch because it didn't really mean anything to football. Because Green Bay's always good, Detroit always bad. Well, now it's a little different. I truly believe that Detroit Lions are the best team in the league. I get it. Kansas City is undefeated. I'm not going to fight that, but I'm going off of what I see. Detroit's clicking everywhere. Good offense, good defense, good special teams, and like really good. So you kind of can't run from the fact that they're a damn good team. Meanwhile, Green Bay, Jordan Love may play. We know he has a little bit of a groin injury. He's saying that there's a damn good chance that he plays. But even if he doesn't, Malik Willis has been holding it down when Jordan Love's been down. But I like Detroit in this. Detroit's they're showing me something. Now that division is going to be tough to navigate itself through, but they're showing me something. The line is Detroit minus 3.5. Give me Detroit. Give me Detroit. They look good. They look solid. I have no reason to say that they're not going to win this game and cover that money. Another 4:00 game. Big time division game. Rams, Seahawks, NFC West. The line on this one is the Rams by 1.5. I get it because Seattle did not look good last week. They looked terrible. Running game was bad. It just was kind of a shit show. Meanwhile, the Rams, they're getting a little healthier. They're pulling themselves together. They're going to put up some points. We know that. Or you better know it if you don't. But Seattle's at home. They just came off a really bad loss to Buffalo. Rams favored by 1.5. Give me Seattle to win this one straight up at home. 8:00 game, Sunday night game. Colts, Vikings. Right now, Vikings favored by 5.5. This one takes an interesting turn because Anthony Richardson has been benched for the rest of the season. Joe Flacco is starting. Joe Flacco, last year, he looked really good with Cleveland. Understand, he did throw a lot of picks. He may do the same thing in Indy, but Vikings, they're reeling a little bit. It's time for them to get their stuff together and keep playing like they were right at the beginning of the season because they are a good team, well coached, really great defense. They could get it done. I believe they could make a little bit of a run, maybe win that division, but they're gonna have to knock off some games as it goes. I mean, the Colts, that's a iffy, that's a real shaky situation because it's hard to tell what they're going to be. They have the pieces. If Joe Flacco can come in there, just play solid quarterback, not turn over the ball too much, they actually could be a really good team and they could win their division, especially with the injuries to the Houston Texans. They're injured on both sides of the ball. So with this one, Minnesota is favored by 5.5. Give me Colts. Give me the Colts. Um, Changes like this, just like with Jameis Winston stepping in, it invigorates the team at least for that first week. Guys you're going to see that passing game open up a little more. You're going to see actually, guys get hit in stride. You're going to see the run game open up a lot more, the play action game open up a lot more. And I like Indy to cover. I like them to win straight up. Give me the Colts. Monday night football game. Tampa Bay at the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is currently favored by 9. I don't like that 9. That's a big number. Kansas City's offense hasn't looked great all year. They look like a team that just knows and understands how to win, and they're better. They're just better than you at that. Very well coached, a lot of great execution, really great defense, but that offense hasn't looked like the offense in years past. That's fine. That's fair. I get it. But Tampa walking in, we know that they're decimated on the receiver front. Baker's been playing some decent ball. So while I think Kansas City is going to win this game, I don't think it's going to be a double-digit game. I don't expect it to be, 30-20 or anything like that. I think it's going to be a little closer to maybe a 24-17, 24-21 type game. I like Kansas City to win. I like the Bucks to cover. Let's just see how that rolls, right? All right, y'all. So that is the NFL Week 9 breakdown. Sports. You gotta love it, right? You absolutely gotta love it. Every day there's something different, something new. We know college football has still been rolling. Looking forward to this Saturday's games. Every week, it seems like whatever you think could happen in the playoffs is going to start to move. It's going to start to change. I want to see, the team that I really want to see is Indiana. It's not a team that, at least in my adult life, I've said like, hey, they look like a really good damn team. Nah, there's been things, there's been other teams pop up. I want to see what Boise State, I want to see how they continue to roll. I want to see what happens with Texas. I want to see what happens with Georgia, Ole Miss. There's an abundance of really cool shit going on in college football, and I am here for it. I'm telling you, I'm here for it. NBA, stay tuned. Probably get into a little more NBA. Might do a couple more shows a week. Where I can really get a little deeper into the NBA. I know it's still early in the season, but I got to be prepared, right? I know what's going on. And there's a lot. There's a whole lot. All right. Look, with that, it's a wrap. Until next time, be good or be good at it. And I will holla.